Do you know who Simone Biles is?
Yeah.
Do you know who her husband is?
She's in the NFL?
Yeah, but like, do you know who he is?
No.
Exactly.
Do you know who Simone Biles is?
The gymnast.
Do you know who her husband is?
He's an NFL player.
Ew.
Do you know who Simone Biles is?
The Olympian? Yeah.
Okay, so do you know who her husband is?
She's married?
Yeah, she's married.
To who?
Some NFL player, I think.
Football player.
Yeah, football player. So you have no idea who she's married to?
You have so right now on TikTok, you have this whole thread of women. I mean, there is hundreds of videos of women going up to their spouses and asking them if they know who Simone Biles' husband is. And they are trying to record the negative reaction. We saw that the very first woman of the video that I posted just now, you know, she asked her husband, does he know who it is? And he said, yeah, it's an NFL player. Then she changed the tone of her voice and with an attitude and said, but do you know who he is? Forcing that negative connotation out of him so he can say, no, I don't know exactly who he is. What do you mean? Like, do I have his phone number? Can I call him? No, I can't. Exactly. There is a thread of all these women trying to diminish this man, all because, I just want everybody to keep in mind, this is all stemming from the fact that he said that men are the prize. So because this man has self-respect, again, because this man has, you know, just was being very authentic about the situation of how the two of them met, all of a sudden he has been, you know, made the poster child of trying to force men to diminish themselves to be with a woman. Women everywhere, okay? It don't matter what they think of you as a person. It don't matter if they like Simone Biles or not. Women everywhere are standing on their soapbox and are trying to force this issue that you guys need to fit into the Disney, fantasy, fairy tale mindset that we have been told since we were little girls, whether you men like it or not. And so we're not going to stop until we potentially bring this woman's husband down. All because he told the truth of how she pursued him. All because of the fact that he said that when they were dating, you know, he didn't even want to be so serious in a relationship because he wanted to focus on his career. Listen to this.
His thing about social media is that when the internet thinks somebody is lying, they will always catch them in that lie. And everybody is talking about the podcast interview that Simone Biles' husband did, where he essentially painted her to be a thirsty nobody who chased after him. He said he didn't watch gymnastics, he had no idea who Simone Biles was. And the internet said, hold on, we are not so sure about that. And they went to the tweets and saw that this man was live tweeting the 2012 Olympics. Now, Simone Biles was not on this 2012 team, but
that's all we need to hear. In 2012, he was somewhere, watching the Olympics, was seeing, Gabby Douglas in the Olympics, and was creating tweets based off of what he saw in 2012. Was Simone Biles on this team? No, she was not. That's a full stop. If this tweet thread was about Simone Biles, and then he, is now saying that he did not know her, that would be a whole different story. Talking about Gabby Douglas and the fact that he was talking about what he saw at the time, there has been plenty of times that I have sat. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to talk about myself. I want to challenge women to name football players from in what teams they play for, when they were drafted. I want women to name male Olympians, world champions. I would love for women to, and since women support women so much, I want women to name WNBA women all-stars, and I want them to name all of these people without going to Google first. That's what I want them to do. It's going to be hard for them.
12 team, but Gabby Douglas was. And this man who said he doesn't watch the Olympics, doesn't watch gymnastics, is live tweeting about Gabby Douglas. Talking about Gabby just needs to get her bottom teeth fixed and then her smile will be cool. Excuse me? Like the absolute audacity. So now not only did they catch you lying, they caught you saying nasty about Gabby Douglas. Talking about your wife's teammate and trying to embarrass your wife on a podcast. You should have just sat on that bench and clapped like you've been doing.
If a woman was, if they went back and pulled up a woman's tweets of her talking about how if somebody grew out a beard, they would be more attractive, or if a certain, man got braces, he'd be more attractive because he watched one Olympic setting or maybe a couple, this man was very blatantly clear with what he said. Now people can believe he's lying. I don't see why he would have the reason to lie. And she's sitting right there. She knows the truth. She never said, he's lying, he did know who I was, he was just making it up. He's saying at the height of her being who she is, at that same exact time, he was not, his college did not have the TV on. It's not like it was just on and the Olympics were on and they were just sitting down and watching it. He was in training camps. He was focused on doing his own thing, maybe, partying here and there. He was just doing him. Now they're taking it verbatim. He said he never, ever watched the Olympics, ever. He never said that.
This type of behavior will never be normal to me because he says the shit that he says and then he doesn't even say anything endearing about her afterwards. It's like he's trying to humble her. Like, are you jealous that she's a better athlete than you? It's odd. Any man that takes an opportunity around other men to downplay his woman's achievements is a red flag, period.
He never downplayed her achievements. I would, a lot of these women should go and watch the entire interview and not the clip. Never did he downplay any of her achievements. And what's interesting to me is that also, again, this man married her. He wifed her. I saw a lot of people even saying on my video, well, first of all, it's he who finds a wife, finds a good thing. And at the end of the day, a lot of these women are blatantly showing you, are they even wives? Are they? Because a lot of women have such a strong vengeance against all men. Even the men that they have a potential of being in a relationship with. Is that a wife quality? To not be able to stand your counterpart? To loathe them entirely? To loathe him just because he's a man? To diminish him? A lot of these women are going on and on and on. And again, it's because once they see this man going against the grain, and once it's a potential for other men to see that they can be strong in their masculinity and that they do not have to bend, a lot of women feel very threatened and get very upset about it. Oh no, these men need to be falling at my feet. This is the literal man who was crying when his wife was walking down the aisle towards him. Because of his love and admiration for his wife. The problem is that you want him to fan over her for her profession. More than how he looks at her as his wife. She don't have no problem with this. Again, she's clearly stated it. She finds no fault in what this man said, and obviously, since she posted on her Instagram saying that we are locked in for life, she must have known his mindset about relationships and the standards that he sees that they should be in. The man is a leader, the woman is submissive, the this or that, regardless of what you have accomplished. The feminists everywhere are somewhere punching the air. Riding for somebody who is not riding with you. Y'all are all mad and putting all this stuff on your back for the man that she is going home to lay in the bed with. How can you possibly be more mad than she is? And this is her husband and she was there. Obviously, this must be the truth if she was sitting right there.
If you haven't watched the full interview, you can go back and watch it. I've only watched a 3-minute clip, and as a therapist and honestly as a person, I'm intrigued. Because why would you publicly say that? Because the facts of how they met are the facts. If he didn't know who she was, then he didn't know who she was. But I think there's a way to tell this story that probably would have been a little bit more loving and seemed a little less misogynistic.
This is where this therapist lost me. This is why even women, when you are going through things emotionally, mentally, or whatever in your relationship and you are married or, like I said, in a long-term relationship, you have to be careful of the counsel that you seek. Because even the therapist that you go to, I'm not saying necessarily this woman because I don't know her, but even the therapist that you go to have a feminist mindset that is going to talk you out of your marriage or your relationship because of how they view men as a whole. They do not know your husband. It is very important and very vital that when women are going through things in their relationship, that you go to somebody who has both of your best interests at heart. Somebody who's going to challenge you and ask questions. Well, what did you do? Well, what did you say before he said that? Let's find out, the truth about the situation before I just side with you because you're a woman and so am I. Using the word misogynistic. She said that what he said seemed misogynistic. Misogyny, the definition is actually the hatred of women. So because he said that men are the prize, that means he hates women. Because he told the truth. Because she's saying, you could have said this a little bit more fuzzy or a little bit, more, emotional or a little bit more loving. Of course, a woman would say that. Imagine a woman telling a man how he should think or how he should say things in the guise of a woman. That's your opinion as a woman. You're putting on your female brain and you want him to put on a female brain and say what he wants to say according to female logic. He's a man. So because he said men are the prize, because he's telling the truth of her pursuit of him, it's a problem. Serena Williams, she did an interview years ago and she was talking about how she met her husband, Alex. I can't remember how exactly to say his last name, so I don't want to say it wrong and be all corrected in the comments. I think it's Ohanahan, but I could be completely wrong. And, he is the founder of Reddit. She went on to an interview and she was explaining how she had no idea what that company was. And when he asked her about it, she basically was looking in his face and lying because she did not know what it was. And she was just saying it to sound like she knew what he did, but she really didn't. She did not receive any backlash. Nobody found any fault with it because she's a woman and he's the man. The minute that this man says that he did not know who his wife was at first, people are so upset. Y'all act like he said he don't know who she is now. That was not the question. It was before.
Because the way he talked about it seemed like he was trying to humble her, at least as a listener. And that's a pattern in heterosexual couples where the woman is more stereotypically successful than the man.
Again, this is a red flag for me. While you're talking about this red flag and this man, this is a red flag for me. Again, women, be careful of the counsel that you seek. Words like misogynistic. Words like, this is very common in heterosexual relationships where, the woman is more stereotypically successful than the man. Whenever we start making it seem as though a woman's, the things that she can obtain and the things that she can conquer professionally makes her a great, source or it puts her in a great position to be the best spouse in the world just because of the things that she's accomplished, that's where we're going to find a whole bunch of problems. There's no difference between you being an Olympian, you being a boss babe or whatever, and you think that because you can obtain certain things that makes you, a certain person in a relationship where you are going to be the best person. That's not realistic. How many people do we see achieve great things and in the relationship that's where they're lacking? He did not say that he was a better athlete. He did not say that he was better at her. You guys are the ones who are putting the competition there. It was not there. He never said that. He said in the relationship, he believes that men are the prize. I made a statement and I said, what is a man with great leadership skills without a woman who is willing to listen? And a great woman in the wrong hands will ruin her. But there's a very big note to take away from this. You see, a man with great leadership skills without a woman who will listen is still a man with great leadership skills. A woman who is a good woman without anybody around her, it does not mean that she is not a good woman, but where's her covering? Where does her leadership come from? Where does her support come from? It's like you're naked to the world. Vulnerable. There's a difference. I don't know why, it's such a problem for a lot of women to understand our differences and that it is okay for your man to be strong in his power. He does not have to be weak for you. This is a Disney fairy tale myth that you guys have been fed and you still want it to be true, even though it has been proven time and time and time again that it is not. Wake up.
When really successful women have male partners, sometimes the men try to humble and publicly humiliate them. And I feel like that's how this interview is landing. Because I really find it hard to believe that he didn't know who she was, even if he didn't watch gymnastics, simply because the Black community supports and uplifts Black excellence. So as a Black person, you do not have to watch sports to know who record-breaking Black athletes are, because we're going to celebrate it regardless.
I do not know every single, and maybe this is my bad, but this is my truth. I do not know every single Black record-breaking athlete. I'm being really honest with you. Before this, I had seen her face before, and I knew that she was an Olympian. I did know that. I did not know to what magnitude. I'm being honest with you. I researched it after. I did not know. I had no idea. You can see somebody on social media. You might scroll and you might see a post here and there. I cannot sit down and put my hand out there. And again, I want to see women name some championship like basketball players. And I'm going to take it past basketball. I'm going to say football players who they know. What's his name? Who he played for? How many championships he done won? I want to hear people say it. And again, since we talk about women supporting women, I want them to name WNBA stars.
I've never watched golf. I knew who Tiger Woods was growing up. I don't watch tennis, but Venus and Serena, you don't have to watch the sports to know the people, especially if they're Black. So even if he didn't originally know who she was,
you name people that you grew up with. Tiger Woods, Venus and Serena. These are longtime people that you grew up with. During the highlight of her career, he was doing something else and not watching it. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know who she was for sure in the highlight of her career. I do not watch the Olympics. If it comes on, I might watch it. If I happen to catch it, but it is not something that I sit down and say, yes, I want to watch the Olympics. I'm being honest. He made it very clear. And again, what would be his reason of lying? And also, she was right there. If that was a lie, she would have said it. She didn't say that. A lot of women are taking it upon their head to push this narrative that he is just some liar, misogynistic, trying to humble his wife, make her look thirsty fool. Like they are painting the picture.
I'm sure he looked her up and then found out who she was. And that he could have shared in the interview in a nicer way. I don't watch gymnastics, so I wasn't too familiar with her. But then I looked her up and wow, she was so impressive. She won all these medals, these awards. I saw her routines and she was amazing. I was so impressed. I had to get to know her.
And again, this is a woman telling a man how he should have said things in a feminine way, how a woman's mind thinks, right? And I'm just going to guarantee that if he would have said that in that manner, you would have had a thread of women in the comments. Oh, so he looked her up and he saw who she was. And that's the only reason why he got with her, because he a gold digger. So instead of trying to say the politically correct thing, tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Because then it would have painted him in a way that's not true. Again.
You see how that's a completely different story than I didn't know who she was on me like that. Come on now. You want to celebrate and uplift your partner. Even if they were the person that was interested first, you were interested back. Like, he really made it seem like she dragged him through a relationship, which is why it felt really uncomfortable to watch. Then we add the additional layer of her not only being a black woman, but being an athletic black woman, which we know how black women are scrutinized in society and in the media. We're literally directly and indirectly told that black women are the least desirable people to date, and the least attractive based off of society standards. And here you are, a black man married to one of the most successful black athletes of our time, and you're saying you didn't know who she was and she basically convinced you to be with her? Why would you publicly say that? Like, I'm just really confused. And this is where the therapist in me is also intrigued, because how we talk about our partners is usually reflective of how we feel about them and how we feel about our relationship in one way or another. So the fact that he was talking about the relationship in this way, and she was smiling, grinning, blushing, agreeing with it, and didn't seem bothered by his comments, that's telling me that maybe they share viewpoints. And if she was the person that was pursuing him, pursuing the relationship, maybe even pursuing marriage, then maybe she shares that viewpoint that he is the catch. He can believe he's a catch. I think we should all believe we're catches. However, in public conversations, when we are talking about a relationship, when we're talking about our partners, it's a little off-putting to describe ourselves as the catch of the relationship, because it's demeaning. It really demeans our partners when we speak like this. Because it would have been really easy for him to say, oh, you know, I didn't watch the Olympics. I don't really follow gymnastics, so I didn't know who she was. But when I saw her swipe up on me, you know, I looked her up and, oh my God, she was such a good gymnast. She was so amazing. I was so impressed with her. I had to get to know her. We got to know each other. And I was honestly afraid to commit. Like, I wasn't really ready for that at that stage of my life, but I really fell for her. And she's just so amazing. She's such a catch. And we ended up getting together, getting married, and the end is the exact same story with a whole different way of describing it. And it just felt a little bit warmer and fuzzier. So I don't know. What did you guys think about the interview?
That's a problem. You trying to make it sound warm and fuzzy, and he just telling you the truth. Because he basically said all those exact things that you just said. But you want to feel the warm and fuzzy. You want to feel the, oh, but is it what it is, or is it not what it is? The main people who are making this interview and blowing it way out of proportion, you're saying, oh, you know, as a black woman, they said that we're the least desirable, and then he did this, and you created that whole story. Because nobody said that. Women know, like women who are used to being in the presence of or in a relationship or who grew up around masculine men are going to have no problem with what this man said. Women understand that a man who has that level of self-worth, to be honest, does not even need to be with nobody. They could be one band, one sound. All by themselves. And a lot of women it's going to be hard for a lot of women to hear this. But a lot of men, and I'm not talking about Simone Biles. I am not talking about her in this predicament. But because this is so widespread to all these other women, I just want to make it known. You do know that there are men who are in relationships with women who are doing them a favor by being with them, right? Again, I am not talking about Simone Biles. But I want to talk about reality. You do know that that is a reality for a lot of people, right? And you do know that a lot of those women who realize that their man is doing them a favor by being with them because he is such a good man with such great qualities and could be with somebody else, that they are very well aware that that's the situation, right? You do know that, right? You're aware, right? And I strongly disagree with the statement that, you know, we should all feel like we are the catch. No, that's a problem right now. Too many people feel like they are the catch and don't bring nothing, not one piece of quality to the table. This woman, she made it very clear in the interview. Simone Biles said, look, I stood on business about getting with this man. Okay? The interviewers tried to make a little joke and talk about, oh, you don't really want her. You never want her. He said, no, I was fighting it because I was focused on my career. I put my vision first, my goals first. I was laser focused on what I wanted to achieve at the time. I did not want to be distracted by a relationship. And she said, no matter what, I knew the qualities that this man had, and I was going to be with him one way or the other. I fought for it. I have to bring back that comment with, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. To be honest, how it realistically works as with a masculine man who's on his purpose is that a woman presents herself. And he analyzes and sees the qualities, sees if he can work with it or not. See if he's willing to, put himself out there to be a part of this woman's goals or not. Sees if she's going to be able to work with the vision or not, and then he pursues it. Why is that a problem? And why is it a problem that she put herself out there? A lot of women should have been sitting down taking notes. Instead of they missed the whole message. You missed the message. She is one of the greatest athletes of all time. I read, okay? I read about it. Somebody that is, a historical figure. And this woman put herself out there and pursued her spouse. Y'all are not even, I don't want to say, but y'all are in certain places, y'all be doing the bare minimum. Okay? And then when a man comes around, you talk about, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not calling nobody. I'm not going after nobody. He need to go after me because, look at me. Look who I am. Who? Again, women are putting their feminine minds, their feelings, their emotions, it's just, he should have said it like, it didn't make me feel fuzzy. There's your emotions, your feelings, what you think, what you're telling this man he should have said, and then there's truth. He gave the truth. I think he was just being real. And again, she has no problem with this. She's supporting him. Y'all say y'all support women so much, but y'all are trying to drag her out this relationship to get a divorce, to be with somebody else because of one interview that he had. She's like, y'all fools go over there and talk about him if you want to. I know what I have. I know who I'm with. And the minute that she would even decide to get a divorce, y'all be running over there jumping on it. I'm just being real. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.